Denica, the sleep aid made from 100% Joe Biden press conference.
The best way to get something done, if you hold it near and dear to you that you like to be able to. Anyway.
Bidenica has a patented blend of confusion and forgetfulness that will calm the most overactive brains.
COVID has taken this year, just since the outbreak, it's taken more than 100 years. Look, here's the lives. When you think about it.
When they sold out American jobs and killed the Keystone Pipeline, it kept me up all night worrying about how we'd pay our bills. But then I got Bidenica, and I've never slept better.
Sometimes when I get hopped up on sugar, my parents give me Bidenica so I pass out. Other times they give it to me during the day, probably so they can do the deed. Gross.
Warning, people who have used Bidenica have experienced rampant lying and an inability to secure the southern border. Others have hallucinated and fought breakfast cereals.
Corn Pop was a bad dude.
Ask your doctor if Bidenica is right for you.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome. The former vice president is in my home state of Michigan. He is at a high school that he has frequented many times. This is kind of his home base to try and rekindle what he has and see if he can make a difference and start making a turn. There's a couple things I wanted to get to before we get going. One, I feel like a total dick because last night I missed some super chats at the end because I didn't have the stream up, mostly because I was completely falling asleep during that press conference last evening. So I wanted to address those first. Remember the Afghanistan withdrawal from Patrick Kennedy. Thank you for the super. Once again, apologize for missing these. The Afghan withdrawal was terrible. It was horrible. And then we have one again from Patrick Kennedy. Thank you again. I have no words. I had no words for last night either. that's part of the whole thing. And mighty meat scripts. I don't know what that means, Akrons, but also appreciate it. And I do once again apologize for missing those last night. I truly do. I hate doing that shit. I hate missing them. So there we go. Is Vice President Trump going to be there? God, I hope so. For those who missed it in his press conference last night.
I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president.
What's up, Fast? What's up, Bobby? Neo. Yeah, that. So, Alec Baldwin. I was just was watching it as well. I think it was the right call by the judge. The prosecutor really fucked up bad, really bad. Don't be shady. Just do your damn job. There was enough there to convict him. Just do your damn job. Don't be shady. Don't try and bullshit. But it was unfortunate because I also wanted to see Alec Baldwin fry, and then I said to hell with it when the prosecutor was giving her soliloquy on the stand and said that she loved Alec Baldwin's politics, and I said fuck both of them. They're made for each other, and they should both go to hell. And that's kind of where I ended watching it. So yeah. But yeah. What's up, Grim? Sorry, she didn't mean to misgender Trump. Yeah, it's a crime here in Michigan. I hope he doesn't do that. So. Special prosecutor that whole state is fucked up. Yeah, it was a really bad job. And then they continued to compound bad job over bad job over bad job. and made it really difficult to get a lawful prosecution, which could have been the whole. It could have been the whole thing, especially with the admission we got from the prosecutor that she's in love with Alec Baldwin and loves his politics. So I don't know. Yeah, you decide. But I thought it was kind of shitty. So prosecutor is dirty. I was a win when Stacey gets smacked for stacking the deck. Yeah, and that's what made this one so hard because I really hate Alec Baldwin. But I'm always out for equal application of justice. I really do think the judge made the correct call. I'm happy with the call the judge made, and really my anger lies with the state of New Mexico for so royally fucking it up. Like, I'm upset that Alec gets to be smug and walk away from it. But again, I think the judge was fantastic, made the right call, and did the right thing. And really, again, my frustration lies with the state of New Mexico. I think they completely fucked everything up. So, Digger, have I missed anything important? I haven't watched your Big Boy shows yet. Oh, you need to go watch the Big Boy one from last night, especially if you need to sleep tonight. Like, it will be great. It will be great for you. Digger, the best thing that came out of that was, and I think I showed you this one already, but
You never watch the rigor.
that one came out of the NATO conference, and given the fact that Joe was like 2 hours late, we had to fill some time. No worries. I ate today before. So this is what happened last night. I'm like, all right, it's going to be 5:30. Like, that's cool. Off work. I have 10 minutes. I'm going to go down, stream the press conference because I didn't want to miss it. Figured it would be a typical Joe press conference, 10, 15 minutes, and then I could go make some food and, be done with my day. And then it just dragged on and on and on and on. So I was a pretty hungry boy at the end of that one. So, I rectified that tonight and ate before I came live. So good deal. But you missed that part of it. I don't know if you saw him talking about Stoltenberg's wife. You probably should. Look that one up or ask me, I'll show you. Yeah, you saw the fucking wife clip? Okay. This was the best thing to come out of last night's endeavor. He called his vice president, President Trump. So
I wouldn't have picked Vice President Trump to be vice president, but I think she was not qualified to be president.
So Trump is female and qualified to be vice president. I say just hand it over to Trump now and save us all the headache, Joe. But yeah. Grims agreed she made the correct call. Replace him with a random Joe off the street and it would be perfectly okay with the ruling. Yeah, exactly. Bobby, yeah. Yep, we saw that one. It's only 4 rows deep on the floor, and we only see a section on the front. It's a very small portion of a school. I know where the school is. So if you're familiar with the city of Detroit, it's about 10 miles northwest, I believe, of Comerica Park. So it's kind of just outside downtown, but still considered Detroit. I've been there. I know where it's at. And from this view, it doesn't look like there's a ton of people. Now, with that being said, I did try to attend this rally legitimately, and there were not public seats available. So I think these are all either campaign staff, probably there's a good collection of union workers or union staff, but it was not open to the public, and I tried. I would have loved to have went. I try. I try to go just because we never know what event is going to be former Vice President Joe Biden's last event. And, yeah. And who knows? Maybe after I would switch my opinion, I'd be riding with Biden. I don't know. Digger coming in with the win there. This channel does not give any specific legal, medical, or general life advice that should be relied upon. Always consult professionals as your circumstances will be specific to your situation. Yeah, I don't give a shit for advice, so yeah. Stinge, surprised you're not jamming to the new Eminem album. I've listened to 10 of the 12 tracks. Listen to 10 of the 12 tracks. So so it's called The Death of Slim Shady. Slim Shady is the alter that he says is responsible for, all these terrible things and that he says. It wasn't as good as I hoped it was. It seemed like he was trying to, and no doubt, I think he's having an internal struggle with the two, but it seemed like he was trying to justify saying what he wanted to say, but then also, like, the second half of the song was, like, apologizing and being apologetic. It was weird. It was very weird. So... maybe I'll get to some of them at some point, just to kind of explain it. And I think he went a little. Brand New Dance is awesome though. I think he went a little bit. I think he went a little bit too shocked with it. Like there was old Slim or old Eminem. There was kind of a flow to the way he made fun of people and the things that he said. This just really seemed to be trying to get everything shocking he could into the rap. I don't think it had the flow or the traditional characteristics that we've come to expect out of Marshall from his early days, and that's what I thought it was going to be, more of the Slim, Stan type of era of music, and it was about 40%. About 40%. So, Alec Baldwin walks free. Yep, we talked about that briefly in the beginning. Why is that lady waving at me? Go away, weirdo. No. Talk about the setup. Now he's safe, and family can go fuck themselves. Yeah, no, I agree. So I did go down to. He is using Celine. He also used what's his name? Bruce Springsteen. Bruce Springsteen was on a little bit earlier, so which is a Biden ally. He's a riding with Biden type feller. So there's one more thing that I wanted to get to, and so I went down to Detroit Wayne County Metropolitan Airport at 3:30. He was late, but did get an opportunity to watch Air Force One land. I also got to see the transport plane, and things like the Beast, the support vehicles, that kind of thing. That was kind of cool. I was gonna stream it, but then my kids wanted to go, so they took precedent, and we went together. And I said, "Let's stream it." So he chose the right side runway at the last minute, so he was supposed to come in on the left runway, and he was gonna. That's what we were hearing with control, and because you can tap into air traffic control and you can hear them tower talking to him. So he was supposed to come in on the left, and it would have came right over top of us, but unfortunately it did not. It went to the right runway at DCW, and it was a little bit further away, a little bit harder to see. So, but still a cool experience, fun experience to go see Air Force One, beautiful plane. It looks like we have some kind of movement. This event was supposed to start, according to his press schedule, at 6 o'clock. Like I said, he came in about a half an hour late, probably a little bit closer to 20 minutes, but about a half an hour late into Detroit landing. I think he touched down at about 3:50, if I would have had to guess. So Joe nearly had 10 people rallied and cried for him. Nearly, but not quite. I don't think the music's like pronounced enough for me to get copyrighted for it, but hell, who knows? I'm not gonna mute Cher. She's definitely in my top 50 Canadians. Definitely in my top 50 Canadians. Yeah, I'll turn it even further down, and I'll just talk. To avoid the copyright. I have 2 right now. I need to watch myself. I have 2, so I have to be good for. I think I only have like 60 days left. So, now I'm upset. He's got Queen. Yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks. I saw at the Trump rally in Doral, they had Queen, and they had Queen on the video board or whatever, and all I can think of is when I see Freddie Mercury perform, like, how the fuck did people think that he wasn't gay? Like, holy shit. Like, that one was hard to miss. I don't know how people didn't get that. Freddie's rolling over in his grave. Yeah. But yeah, it was interesting. I like how they have the Motown as Joetown. No, the fuck it's not. He seems pretty comfortable here, though. This is where he keeps coming back to when he needs to, to re-engage. He's got a hype man. Wow, this audio sucks. Let me find a different feed.
You guys packed this place so full. We have an overflow room, and the president just stopped by the overflow.
Bullshit.
That is the kind of energy Detroit is bringing to Biden-Harris. My name is Vinnie Timaraju. I'm the president of Reproductive Freedom for All. And our 4 million members, including our members right here in Michigan, are firmly behind Joe Biden.
Okay, so I just went to Reuters and Fox and a couple of the other ones. It's just the audio there that's shit. So unfortunately.
Let me tell you why. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris have been champions for reproductive freedom since day one. And when the devastating Dobbs decision came down, and Roe v. Wade was overturned,
I'm confused.
they went
What's
right
that? White,
into
black,
action,
female,
preserving our freedoms
male?
and fighting for our rights.
Bobby, the answer is yes. Because again, I live in Michigan, and they're in Michigan, and I don't want to go to prison for misracing, gendering, any of the above. So yes, is the question or the answer.
The entire administration to protect women and pregnant people. They have been with us. They've been with us. We are with them. And the threat on the horizon, it couldn't be more horrific. We have work to do, y'all. We have work to do. We got to stop Trump. We got to stop Project 2025. We got to tell our story, and we got to stand firm and proud of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. And yes, 4 more years, 4 more years, 4 more years.
Oh, he went to Northville before this. That's what it was. Thanks for the...
And when we reelect Joe
Thanks
Biden
for the clip,
and
Digger.
Kamala Harris,
I did not see that.
when we flip the House, hold the Senate, which we're going to do right here in Michigan, and reelect Joe and Kamala, we're going to codify a federal right to abortion in all 50 states. Y'all, everything is on the line right here in Michigan. We are so grateful to all of you for the work you've done so far. Let's finish the job.
So that's probably the 2-hour warning, diaper change warning. So here's him, and yeah, we've probably got a minute. So thank you, Digger, for tagging me in this.
And so I decided I wasn't going to get engaged in public. I wasn't going to run again. I had been vice president. I was a professor, a full professor at the University of Pennsylvania at the time. And what happened was that I was going to stay out of it. But then what happened was, remember down in Charlottesville, Virginia, when those folks came out of the woods carrying torches and Nazi banners and literally singing the same Nazi, anyway, same song sung in Germany in the 30s. And a young woman was killed who was a bystander. And that young woman I talked to the mother, and the press contacted Trump and asked him, they said, well, what do you think? He said, there were very good people on both sides, very good people. And honest to God, that's when I decided to run. And
so apparently now he was a professor at University of Pennsylvania. And something that didn't happen made him run for president. I mean, that makes so much sense. So much sense.
Keep running 'cause the winner don't quit on themselves.
And Digger, I won't suggest that I would have obliged your request had I went, but I would have given it serious consideration and would have thought about it. I think as long as it was mint chocolate chip, I could have got away with it. But unfortunately, I'm conservative, and they won't let me into their bullshit. Northville was probably pretty likely one of the union halls up that way. Again, it's another friendly spot for Joe Biden. Northville's kind of on the fringe of what is kind of that blue, deep blue. So that's interesting. You get into more rural area, west of Northville, north of Northville. So, suburb of Novi, if anybody knows where that's at. They keep saying Project 2025, and I don't know what it is, and I don't care. It's always a new boogeyman. Funny enough, their biggest threat is their own party. So I was going to do, and I mean, literally, if one person says, do a show on 2025, Project 2025, I certainly will. I've been considering it anyways. I read it in full. It is a think tank project that was taken on by the Heritage Foundation and several others. It is basically a blueprint for maintaining conservative power in government institutions long term. There's some what Democrats are latching onto and latching. Sorry, I saw a gentleman thought lynching. I don't know why, but I meant latching. So latching onto, and some of those include some border measures. They argue the abortion question, which I think is a losing question for conservatives. I just think it is. You can believe whatever the hell you want, but it's not something that you should fight on or decide on or die on the hill for. Because ultimately it's been decided by our courts and sent back to the states like it should be. So you need to watch Swalwell try to question Shapiro in Congress. I did watch that. But maybe I can bring it up if we're continuing to wait, but I'll finish up my synopsis on Agenda 2025. I'm very much in favor of Agenda 2025. There are some things in there that I don't particularly agree with. But it is basically the Democrat playbook opposite. So it's nothing more than a way for us to gain and sustain power in the institutions like the Democrats have done, infiltrating every single institution from the ground up. So that's what Agenda 2025 is in a nutshell, but I can do more on the specifics later. So they want cigarettes machines in Denny's lobbies again. I don't understand. Church folks are worried about this project. Please do a show. Will do. For sure. For Canada, smoke machine wouldn't be the worst thing though, would it? Like, seriously? Holy shit, I guess I haven't said enough bad words for YouTube to decide not to put commercials on it. Well, I better step my game up. We'll start with, yeah, why not? We'll watch this while we're waiting on Creepy Uncle Joe. This is the Swalwell, Fang, and Ben Shapiro exchange in Congress that took place the other day. And of course, I'm watching the Biden event on the other screen. If he comes up, happily go to it very quickly.
You probably want less bureaucracy, right? I do. I want less bureaucracy. You want more efficiency? I do. I want more efficiency. You want taxpayer money spent wisely? I do. Congrats on becoming a Republican. Yeah. My parents would be proud. Mass deportations, it calls for that. Do you support that part? I support the deportation of any illegal immigrant who's in the United States who is not of benefit to the generalized American public. So if they're picking agriculture that puts food on the tables of everyday Americans, they've never committed a crime inside the United States, they didn't come across with documents, should they be deported? If they have not paid taxes and if their draw on the taxpayer benefits are larger than the contribution they're making to the economy, or if they're involved in criminal activity, they should be deported. How do we measure that? The same way that the IRS measures my income every year. It seems like if the IRS can track down every aspect of every receipt that I've ever submitted, and so they can do so for hundreds of millions of other Americans, they can do that for illegal immigrants as well, except for the fact.
Michael, this is the Renaissance High School in Detroit, Michigan.
And no one knows how many are in the country thanks to this administration. So you would be cool with creating a system where they could pay those taxes if they wanted to and then stay and work and put food on our table?
It depends on how long it would take for them to pay the taxes, and they would also have to go presumably to the back of the line, although I'm not sure why I'm testifying about immigration policy at this point.
How about banning the abortion pill? That's part of Project 2025. Do you support that part?
I think that that's a state by state issue on a personal level.
I'm just asking you.
Sure, I'm a fully pro-life person, which means that I'm not in favor of the distribution of the abortion pill.
Banning same-sex marriage. What about that part?
I am in favor of traditional marriage between a man and a woman, and I'm perfectly fine with anyone having any sort of voluntary sexual arrangement they seek. That's a different thing from whether the government should attach benefits to that personal relationship.
But you think it's a sin to have same-sex marriage?
I mean, I'm confused. Are you asking me as a religious Jew what I think about biblically?
I'm just asking, is it a sin to be gay?
Is it a sin to be gay? I mean, how long do we have here? 2 minutes? I mean, if the basic idea is that sexual orientation is up for government regulation, I'm not in favor of the government regulating the private consenting sexual activity of adults. That is a different thing, once again, from whether the government ought to engage in actual benefits for particular sexual arrangements that adults make.
But again, just you to me, is it a sin or not?
From a religious Jewish perspective, orientation is not a sin, but activity is. That's also the same perspective of most major religions, so far as I'm aware.
Okay. And how about cutting Social Security? Do you support that part of 2025?
I'm not sure what Project 2025's position on Social Security is. I'm in favor of the restructuring of Social Security along the lines of privatization and lowering and increasing the retirement age, because you, as well as every other congressperson, knows Social Security is going to go bankrupt, and yet everyone seems to have an interest in lying about it for the next decade and a half until we have to take austerity measures or radically increase inflation or taxes.
And bans against books about slavery. Do you support that part about?
Why would I possibly be in favor of bans about books about slavery? That would be absolutely ridiculous. What I am in favor of is the idea that school libraries should be able to make decisions along the lines of what exactly is appropriate for, say, a 7th grader and whether they ought to be treated to cartoons and genderqueer. That's not quite the same thing.
And just because we found some receipts, you did say, I think homosexual activity is a sin.
Yes, I'm a religious Jew.
Sure,
that's true.
There's a genetic component.
You found me out.
Orientation. But the view of all religious people I know has always been that sexual behavior is something that is up to you. And you said, I may have a desire to sleep with many women, but I do not.
I agree with me. Yes, that's true.
Congratulations on your, I'm sure it's very hard to restrain yourself. Mr. Chairman, I just want to shift to Alvin Bragg. He was supposed to be here this week, and he's not coming. And Hunter Biden was supposed to testify. Now he's not testifying. We were supposed to have votes on articles of impeachment, and we didn't. And again, we're just wondering, you guys write great press releases, but the payoff seems to never come. And so I guess we will keep waiting, and we'll do hearings like this. And finally, Chairman, you cannot yell fire in a crowded theater, and that's a restriction on speech, as you have recognized before. But you can yell theater in a crowded fire, and you all can continue to do that all you want, and we'll just waste the American people's time.
Gentleman's time has expired, and I remind him of the first rule of holes. When you're in one, stop digging.
I agree. I mean, you certainly can yell fire in a crowded theater. I mean, what if the crowded theater is on fire? Maybe, Eric. Like, if it's on fire, I'm pretty damn sure you can let people know. So fuck your restrictions on free speech. Thank you. Anyways, back to Linda. Got yesterday's notification for Creepy Uncle Joe's press conference. Yeah. I don't know what. So Digger just said that there was an ad on the video. I think she said 2 actually. So they are really fucking with the ability to push out notifications right now. Like, I've seen that and heard that, but then they think I'm suitable for ads, which is really weird. So it's like they can't make up their damn mind. I did see I was trying to find the actual record. There was a PBS poll that came out today. PBS poll that came out today, and it has Biden up by 2 points. So they're, the liberal machine on Twitter is saying he's back and he's, he's fixed his poor debate performance and he's beating Trump and so on and so forth. So whatever. But obviously we know none of that's true, and we all saw the press conference last night. It was total garbage. So this is the one. So Stingy brought up that Eminem released a new album, and we'll talk about that while we're waiting for Uncle Joe. Like I said, I think it was kind of back and forth. This is the one that everybody's kind of up in arms about, and I don't have a huge issue actually with this one. I figured he was going to talk about some MAGA bullshit, but Eminem, this is the verse, not my words, Eminem's. Candace, oh, I ain't mad at her. I ain't gonna throw the fact that bitch forgot she's black back at her. Laugh at her like them crackers she's back in, and after her back is turned, in a cute MAGA hat with her brand new White Lives Matter shirt. So that's one of the verses in his song called Lucifer. I don't really care that much about that, but that's one of the ones that has conservatives up in arms. I'm a proponent of free speech. If Marshall wants to talk about Candace being a sellout, then he's welcome to. Like, I'm not gonna ban or restrict somebody's speech. I still don't think he's fucking the next conservative who's gonna come out to his next concert wearing a MAGA hat. I never thought that. I think he's frustrated with censorship, and eventually that drives more and more people into a conservative mindset. But I was never under the assumption that he had flipped or become conservative or a Trump fan or any of the above. So, and I really think free speech, you should be able to say whatever the hell you want. So, Neo, I got a YouTube notification, but my YouTube account is so old I don't think it allows the normal rules. Like, I can't be gifted a sub on YouTube. Damn. Linda, no, that does not. It does not, because I don't have it turned on. So, so that's all YouTube. YouTube's putting on ads. And at the same time, they'll tell me that I'm unsuitable for most advertisers and won't give me shit out of the entire thing. But I wish, though. I wish. Here comes Joe. And again, I do apologize. The audio is the audio for the press conference. It is not, it's not any better on any of the other ones. Well, his campaigns is up. That one's a little bit better. Maybe we'll switch over there. It's behind by about 10 seconds, but the audio is a little bit better. So Motown is Blowtown when Joe's around. Yeah.
Good evening,
God, the quality sucks too. Okay. No? Their equipment really sucks.
Good evening, Detroit.
Again, he's at Renaissance High School, about 10 miles northwest of downtown Detroit, Comerica Park area. Ford Field, Comerica Park area.
Good evening, Detroit. Good evening, Michigan.
Are you just going to keep saying it?
Good evening, Detroit. And good evening, Michigan.
Oh shit, she's stuck in a loop. Who's this dollar store open?
Well, good evening, Detroit. Good evening, Michigan.
Thank you for your opinion, Evan. Unlike your side, we let you have it here. So
Distinct honor
enjoy.
to present a transformative leader. I say transformative because when our nation urgently needed proven leadership, he not only met the moment, but he ushered in life-giving change. When our economy was teetering on the brink of recession, President Biden turned it around remarkably. Hallelujah. And because of the Biden-Harris administration, we have seen lower prescription drug prices and lower healthcare premiums. Nearly $170 billion in student loan forgiveness. More people in the American workforce than any point in history. Nationwide rebuilding of infrastructure. The signing of the first significant gun safety law in 30 years.
Yeah, fuck the Second Amendment.
Tremendous boom in small businesses. Over $16 billion in support for historically Black colleges and universities. And the list goes on. As a woman of faith, as a pastor, I am grateful that President Biden operates out of compassion for people, the people he serves, rather than serving his own interests like the other side. You see, while Trump is promoting autocracy, President Biden is defending democracy.
We're a constitutional republic.
Trump spews misinformation and disinformation while President Biden fosters transformation and elevation. Trump wants to move us backward in 2025, but President Biden wants to see us all bloom and thrive. Trump wants to be a president king, but President Biden wants freedom to ring. Trump wants tax cuts for the wealthy, but President Biden wants to keep America healthy.
Stop with the fucking MLK cadence.
And even though there are some who have vocalized their doubts, there are still plenty of us who fully support our president.
Seriously, she has that cadence that she's trying to be MLK.
So allow me to paraphrase the biblical prophet Elisha. President Biden, there are far more who are with you than there are who are against you. And because he has been a transformative leader, we want to give him 4 more years to finish the job.
He's not going to make it 4 more years. Patrick, I wanted to extend a special thank you for your supers yesterday. Sorry I missed them. I brought them up at the beginning of this stream. I apologize for that.
United States of America, Joe Biden.
Hello, hello, hello. Well, I tell you what. Well, thank you. I love you back. Look, I'm not going home unless I get one sign. And that is Motown is Joetown, and it is. You don't know how true that is. My dad sold automobiles, got me through high school and college and law school, and it's selling automobiles and everything. We always looked at Motown. UAW. By the way, Pastor Rudolph, yes, heard she's the AME Church. When I was I'm still a young guy, but when I was a young fella involved in the civil rights movement in my state, which was segregated by law, I'd always start Pastor Beeman, now Bishop Beeman's church, the AME Church in Wilmington, for real. I go to 7:30 Mass, and I go to 10 o'clock services. We plan what we're going to do, how to desegregate the restaurants and streets of our city. And I tell you what, now you know why I spent so much time in the AME Church. Pastor, thanks for that introduction and for your spiritual leadership in the community. And by the way, we got a great crowd here tonight to state the obvious, but if I didn't do this, I'd get in trouble. My dad looking down on me. We love you. My dad would give me hell if I didn't turn and say, "Excuse my back, I apologize." Look, folks, members of Congress, Debbie, I've got your back, and I got your back as well. Members of Congress, Debbie, Haley, and by the way, I want you to know that I've spent a lot of time with Debbie. She's helped me like a lot. And I forget which event we're at, and someone said, "You're his wife, aren't you?" Because she looks like Jill, my wife. And Siri, thank you very much. I can't tell you. Look, we got state leaders, Lieutenant Governor Gilchrist. He's hard to miss. He's 7'3". Secretary of State Benson. LeVar Bourne, Democratic chairman. We got civil rights leaders, faith leaders, labor leaders, including SEIU, CWA, AFL-CIO. Thank you all. And by the way, I don't call it labor. It's simple. Unions. I say the word. I can't tell you how much this means to me. I really mean it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And folks, look, I'm here for one reason. Kamala and I won Michigan in 2020 because of you, and we're going to win it again in 2024.
Just cause on your I wonder how much they paid to be
Here's
there.
how we're going to do it.
This is highly curated. I
We're going to
legitimately
stand up
tried to
for
go
women in America.
and
We're going to
could not.
protect contraception. We're going to protect IVF. And we're going to restore Roe v. Wade as the law of the land. I mean it. We're going to protect the right to vote. We're going to fight for Medicare and Social Security, not cut it like the other guy wants to do. And I promise, I'm going to keep lowering the cost of prescription drugs in America. We're going to keep expanding health care. No matter how many times Trump and his MAGA Republicans come after the Affordable Care Act, we will stop them and stop them and stop them. I mean it. Too many people are depending on it. We're going to protect our children. We're going to get weapons of war off the street. We're going to ban assault weapons. Folks, look, more children are killed by a bullet than any other reason in America. They die for that for more than anything else, any disease, any problem. It's sick. And above all else, we're going to stand up for our Constitution and save our democracy. Folks, you probably noticed there's a lot of speculation lately. What's Joe Biden going to do? Is he going to stay in the race? Is he going to drop out? Here's my answer. I am running, and we're going to win. I'm not going to change that. In fact, just today, the Marist poll released a national poll that has me beating Trump 50-48. I don't know all those drop-offs that took place. There's so much of my narrative, my campaign is falling apart, they say. I'm the nominee of the Democratic Party, the only Democrat or Republican who has beaten Donald Trump ever. And I'm going to beat him again. I know him. Donald Trump is a loser. Folks, I'm the nominee. I'm the nominee of this party because 14 million Democrats like you voted for me in the primaries. You may be the nominee, no one else, not the press, not the pundits, not the insiders, not donors. You, the voters, you decided, no one else, and I'm not going anywhere. I learned a long time ago that when you get knocked down, you get back up. I've led this nation from the depths of the pandemic to the strongest economy literally in the world. And we're not done yet. We're not done yet. Have to finish the job and do what that's what we're going to do. Folks, let me tell you something about Donald Trump and his friends down in Mar-a-Lago. Wall Street didn't build this country. You did, the working people, and the middle class built this country. And unions built the middle class. That's a fact. That's a fact. Folks, I'm proud to say I'm the first and only president in American history to walk a picket line. Because I know when labor does well, everybody does well. That's not hyperbole. I came to Michigan to walk that picket line. I stood shoulder to shoulder with the United Auto Workers, the greatest auto workers in the world.
You fucking lie. I was there. I was standing there, you lying son of a bitch.
I want you to know, I promise you, I give you my word as a Biden, I'll always have your back because you've always had mine. Remember what Donald Trump did when I was here walking the picket line? He gave a speech at a non-union shop. So when Trump comes here to tell you how great he is for the auto industry, remember this. When Trump was president, we lost 86,000 jobs in unions. And I created 275,000 auto jobs in America. In fact, what's been true in the auto industry is true all over America. Since I became president, we've created nearly 16 million new jobs nationwide. 390,000 of those jobs right here in Michigan. We created 800,000 manufacturing jobs nationwide, including 24,000 in Michigan. Unemployment is down to 4%, record lows for more than 2 years. Historic low unemployment for Hispanics, Black, Asian Americans, including here in Michigan. Look, just yesterday, it was reported because of my economic plan, inflation is down again. Overall prices fell last month. Core inflation is as low as it's been in 3 years. Prices are falling for cars, appliances, airfares. Grocery prices have fallen since the start of this year. We got more to do. We're going to keep working to take corporate greed, take it on. You know, since the pandemic, corporations have doubled their profits. I understand corporations. I come from the corporate capital of the world, Delaware. They have more corporations in corporate in my state than every other state in the union combined. I'm not anti-corporation, but I'm anti-greed. That's what I'm anti. Meanwhile, Donald Trump wasn't riding around in his golf cart filling out a scorecard before he hits the ball. He's calling for, this is the God's truth, he's calling for a 10% tariff on everything we import, including fruits, vegetables, coffee, and other necessities. And the leading economists in this country tell us this plan would cost working families $2,500 a year in a new tax. That's a fact, not a joke. Folks, the vast majority agree our economy is moving in the right direction. Jobs are up, wages are up, the economy continues to grow, and inflation is down. And I love telling Trump this, even though I don't own any stock. The stock market is a historic high, closed at over $40,000. People are getting a little worried that so many moderate and mainstream Republican, well, not all Republican, mainstream economists support me. Look, the more people have more money in their 401ks than they ever did before. But folks, you don't have to take my word for it. 16 Nobel laureates in economics agree. Under my economic plan, they say we're going to continue to grow and keep inflation down. They say that Trump's plan would put the economy in a recession. There's 16 Nobel laureates last week say it put us in a recession and inflation would soar. Folks, look. In fact, I guess I should worry, but the new Wall Street Journal survey of economists says inflation will be worse under Trump. That's the Wall Street Journal. Great paper, usually not supportive of me. Do you really want to go back to the chaos of Donald Trump as president? Back when the United States lost 3 million jobs. And by the way, Donald Trump is the only president in American history, other than Herbert Hoover, who lost more jobs than he had when he came in. That's why I call him Donald Herbert Hoover Trump. Remember the days when people were dying, literally dying, and we were pushing on the COVID effort? Well, guess what? He told us, we don't have to worry about COVID. It's not that bad. Just inject bleach in your arm. I think he missed, he hit his head. Look, remember when Trump was transgressing peaceful protest across the White House lawn, who were marching for justice. Look, folks, if it wasn't so serious, it all means being like a made-up novel would happen. Now, I'm not complaining, I'm just saying. You may have noticed that since the debate, the press and their good guys and women up there, they've been hammering me. I make a lot of mistakes. No, it's okay. They've been hammering me because I sometimes confuse names. I say that's Charlie instead of Bill. But guess what? Donald Trump has gotten a free pass. He hadn't done a damn thing till a couple days ago. He'd been riding around his golf cart in his course, filling out his scorecard before he picks up his club. Rambling about. Think what he's been talking about. Hannibal Lecter, he says, is a nice guy. Trump would rather be electrocuted than eaten by a shark. You know that whole thing, remember that? Poor Donald. He can't even watch TV this week because it's Shark Week. And by the way, on a more serious note, I had 32 members mostly from Europe, but 32 members of NATO in Washington. And by the way, and the press has covered this, they give me credit for strengthening NATO, expanding NATO, making it what it is. And look, this is deadly earnest. When that butcher Putin, who I know have known for a long time, when he invaded Ukraine, here's what Trump said. I'm not making this up either. He called him a genius and said it was wonderful. What in the hell is going on? But people would rather talk about how I mix up names. I guess they don't remember that Trump called Nikki Haley Nancy Pelosi. Well, no. No more. Donald, no more free passes. Today we're going to shine a spotlight on Donald Trump. We're going to do what the press so far hasn't, but I think they're going to soon. We're going to say who he is, what he intends to do. Folks, Donald Trump is a convicted criminal. He's convicted. He was convicted by a jury of his peers of 34 felonies for paying hush money to a porn star and hiding it from voters in 2016. Donald Trump was found liable for sexual assault by a judge who told us not to be fooled by Trump's brushing it off. Here's what the judge wrote, quote, the judge in that case wrote, Mr. Trump attempt to minimize sexual abuse, finding it frivolous. Mr. Trump raped her. No, I mean, it's the judge's language, not mine. Raped her, as many people understand the word rape. Folks, Donald Trump is a business fraud. He lost his license to do business in New York State. Been fined over $400 million for giving false information to banks. And he's still facing charge for mishandling classified information, which is a criminal offense. He's still facing charge for his role in January 6th trying to overthrow the outcome of the 2020 election. He's still facing charges in Georgia for election interference. Remember his phone call? I just need 11,780 votes. Name me another president who's done any of that. Look, if you want to know how bad a businessman Trump really is, just think about this. He inherited millions of dollars only to squander it. He's filed bankruptcy 6 times. He even went bankrupt running a casino. I didn't think that was possible. Doesn't the House always win at a casino? Most importantly, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, Trump is a threat to this nation. He led a violent mob on January 6th to overturn the 2020 election. Hold on to power. The election I won by 7 million votes. Folks, by the way, he made these claims about stealing the election. Guess what? What happened was, By the way, no, yeah, I know.
Can't speak while they're talking. He can't. Like, legitimately, he just tried. He can't. He can't do it. This could be a while.
Folks, folks, look, give me 1 second. Folks, look, I understand her passion. I understand her passion. That's why I put together a detailed plan that the United Nations accepted, that the Israelis accepted, that the Palestinians have accepted, to end this war. This war must end. It must end. Well, look, we saw with our own eyes, we saw how he sent thousands of people to attack the Capitol, Trump. We saw the police being attacked, the Capitol being ransacked, the mob hunting for the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, gallows set up to hang Vice President Pence. We saw it here in Michigan, a stark attack on your state capitol, a horrendous plot to kidnap your governor, protests surrounding your home, the home of your Secretary of State, for simply doing her job. She's here tonight, Madam Secretary. I'm proud of you. Where are you, Madam Secretary? That's why I bestowed on the Secretary the Presidential Citizens Medal, one of the nation's highest honors in defense of democracy. Folks, and now Trump wants to pardon those January 6th insurrectionists. It's outrageous. It's wrong. And I will never let it happen. No president has ever attempted to do what Trump tried to do. No president. But Trump is even more dangerous now. No, I'm serious. He's unhinged. He snapped. And he refuses this time around. Refuses this time around to say he'll accept the election, this election, the results. Can you imagine that? Look, he says if he loses, there will be a bloodbath when he loses. And the United States Supreme Court said there is virtually no limit on the power of a president. Trump said if he wins, he'll be a dictator on day one. He means it, folks. We're not going to let that happen. Over my dead body will happen. Folks, I don't want to complicate, but just look at this right-wing Project 2025. Oh, but it's really focused on, you heard about it. It's a blueprint for the second Trump term that every American should read and understand. Now, of course, Trump is lying about it now. He tries to distance himself, just like he's trying to distance himself from overturning Roe v. Wade, because he knows how toxic it is. But we're not going to let that happen. And the press shouldn't either. Project 2025 is run and paid for by Trump people, his top policy people, his campaign press secretary, his personal bag man in the White House, the biggest funders and more. It was a project built for Trump. Folks, Project 2025 is the biggest attack on our system of government and our personal freedom that has ever been proposed in the history of this country. And here's the nightmare, what it would unleash. Trump Project 2025 will criminalize the shipping of abortion medication, anywhere to deny contraceptive covers, allow a ban nationwide. That's what Project 2024 is 2024-25 is calling about. Project 2025 will deploy the Department of Justice to prosecute Trump's enemies. And that's a real deal. Trump's enemies. Trump himself calls his campaign a campaign, is what he calls it, revenge and retribution. That's what he says. Well, Trump's 2025 project will eliminate the civil service. No, I'm serious, not a joke, read it. And he will allow him to hire tens of thousands of civil servants that are running only because they support Trump. They have to take a loyalty oath to Trump beforehand. Folks, that's not the United States of America. Trump's 2025 project will cut Social Security and Medicare, rip away protections for pre-existing health conditions, will eliminate $35 a month cap on insulin, allowing drug companies to jack up the prices back up to $400 a month. Stop Medicare from negotiating lower drug prices. And by the way, I got criticized for taking on taking on the drug companies, the pharma, for that. Well, it's not damn right, it's all right. But by the way, you know what it did? When I won, it cut the federal budget by $160 billion. Trump's Project 2025 will eliminate the department. He wants to eliminate the Department of Education. Not a joke. He wants to cut school lunch programs. I know this almost sounds like a joke, but it's real. He wants to eliminate Head Start for low-income children. This project will allow employers to stop paying overtime for hourly workers, but give the very wealthy another massive tax cut. The tax cut he's proposed is for $5 trillion over the next 10 years. Folks, Project 2025 is going to let him round up over 10 million people in America and put them in detention camps. You heard him say it. You heard him say what he wants to do. That's what he says he's going to do. Ripping them away from their homes, their schools, because Trump calls them animals who poison the blood of America. Look, folks, there's only one reason. Only some of Trump's plan in 2020. It goes on for 900 pages.
What the?
We've never seen anything like this. And it's not a joke. It's time for us to stop treating politics like entertainment and reality TV. Another 4 years with Donald Trump is deadly serious. Deadly serious. His proposals are deadly serious. America needs to wake up and realize that Trump and his mega republic is what they're trying to do. We're going to join them, we're going to engage them, and we're going to stop them.
You gonna join us?
Folks, we all know it's not enough just to be against something. We have to be for something. So today I'm going to start by laying out the first 100 days of my second term. And here it is. The first bill I'm going to introduce will restore Roe v. Wade to make it the law of the land. I will sign the John Lewis Voting Rights Act and the Freedom to Vote Act. We're not only going to stop Trump and the MAGA Republicans from cutting Social Security and Medicare, we'll expand and strengthen Social Security and Medicare. And here's how we're going to do it. Press always asks how. Listen, press, by making the rich pay their fair share of Social Security. And we're going to end medical debt. By that I mean we've already made sure medical debt can no longer be put on your credit report. You can wipe out medical debt for pennies on the dollar. We're going to raise the federal minimum wage. We're going to pass the PRO Act, ending union busting once and for all. And I'm going to ban assault weapons again. I did it once, I'm going to do it again. We're going to keep leading the world. We are on climate and clean energy. When I signed the American Rescue Plan, the law expanded child care tax credit to cut child poverty in half in America, and it did. Republicans let it expire. I'm going to make child care tax cut permanent. And by the way, it increases economic growth, doesn't increase the deficit. People can work when you have child. No, I'm serious. That's the deal. We capped the cost of insulin for seniors at $35, totaling cost. And no senior beginning in 2025 is going to have to pay more than $2,000 a year for all their prescription drugs, including cancer drugs that are $10,000, $12,000, $14,000 a year. And my second term, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make that same plan available for every single American. Again, saving the federal government hundreds of billions of dollars over time. We're going to make housing more affordable. That means taking on corporate greed and getting the rents down. We're going to build 2 million housing units and cap rent increases of 5% a year so corporate landlords can no longer gouge everyone like they do. We can do this. We're going to end Trump's tax cuts for the very wealthy and the corporations to make the tax code fair. I kept my commitment. I think a lot of you thought, why is Biden doing what he said? Which is, no one making less than $400,000 will pay a penny more in federal taxes. I don't know many people making $400,000. In my neighborhood, no one did. But I wanted to be clear that I wasn't going to be taxing anyone who was a working man or even close to it. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to make billionaires. We have 1,000 in America since the pandemic. Pay a minimum tax of 25%. You know what? By the way, you know what they pay now? A billionaire's federal tax is 8.2%. Not a joke. I'm not making this up. Because no billionaire should pay a lower tax rate than a teacher, a firefighter, a nurse. It's ridiculous. That one thing alone would generate $500 billion in revenue over the next 10 years, allowing us to do more for child care, elder care, bring down federal deficit, do so much more. We're going to continue to secure the southern border. Look, after Trump killed the bipartisan effort we put together that a lot of Republicans supported as well, he got on the phone and he called all his friends because he said, if in fact you vote for it, it's going to be a win for Biden and a loss for me, so don't do it. Well, the Republican Party, I got to admit to you, I was a little surprised. The Republican Party walked away from it. So that's when I took executive action. I said, and since I did, the border encounters have gone down over 50%. And we're going to keep it going down, fixing our legal immigration, creating pathways for citizens, for dreamers. I made it clear there are over 500,000 spouses in America, married to Americans, who don't have a green card after 10 years here. They're now going to get their green card. Folks, the days of failed trickle-down economics are over. My first 100 days of the second term is going to continue to be all about working people in this nation. Unlike Donald Trump, I don't work for big oil. I don't work for Big Pharma. I don't work for the National Rifle Association. I work for you, the American people. Everyone. Look. What's America all about? Everyone in America is entitled to a fair shot. Just a fair, no guarantee, a fair shot. But in America, we're going to leave no one behind and give everybody a fair shot. That's all they are. Folks, let me close with this. I know I look 40 years old. But I'm a little bit older. Hopefully with age comes a little wisdom. And here's what I know. I know how to tell the truth. I know right from wrong. I know how, and I've demonstrated how to do this job. And I know Americans want a president, not a dictator. And I also know no self-respecting American president would ever be Putin's puppy like this guy is. That's what he is. You know, Americans want to protect their freedoms, not give them up. I know what America stands for. We stand for the proposition that all people are created equal and deserve an equal. No, I mean, we've never fully lived up to it. We've never walked away from it, though. And I'll be damned if I'm going to let Donald Trump walk this nation from away from it. Folks, this race is about your family. It's about your freedom. It's about democracy. Are you with me? Are we going to stop Donald Trump? Let's get this done. Let's remember who we are. We are the United States of America, and there's nothing beyond our capacity when we do it together. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, that was the speech, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. The rally. Couple things with this rally. One, I legitimately tried to attend. I was not allowed to attend. They were only individuals that were invited to attend. So these are going to be your major union hubs. They're going to be that kind of individual, and somebody who just wants to go see, Motown Joe was unable to do so. There's some interesting developments going on right now, and I want to get to it before it gets lost in translation or it goes off the board. Just for some context. So first, we're going to start over here on, and we'll go back to that in a minute. But he's done speaking. He's just shaking hands. Ukraine military 3A-19. Airbus A319. So this is President Zelensky's personal, government plane, but personal plane. So as we can see, it is leaving Salt Lake. So Salt Lake, is he talking again? Apologize. So Salt Lake is home to Hill Air Force Base. Interesting thing about Hill Air Force Base.
Thank you.
Mr. President. Great job. Let's get a picture.
Holy shit, he looks awesome. So President Zelensky is leaving Hill Air Force Base. The interesting part is it's home to a bunch of fighter squadrons. The 34th Fighter Squadron, the 419th Air Wing, 388th Air Wing. There's the 4th Fighter Squadron, 421st Fighter Squadron. So it's home to a lot of fighter squadrons. The interesting part about why that's interesting is they also serve as a logistics agency for global distribution of the F-35 fighter. Something that they've said is not going to pass over, not going to go anywhere, and not going to be in Ukraine's arsenal. But Zelensky is touring the hub, which is Hill Air Force Base, for the introduction of F-35s and logistics of getting them to places around the globe for air superiority. I would not be shocked if Joe Biden ended up giving Ukraine some of our new F-35s, which means they'll soon be in the hands of the Russians. So I thought that was just an interesting data point that when I was watching the flight boards and did some looking into different shit. So it's this light purple plane right here, this UKN 1132. This has President Zelensky on it. As you can see clearly, it just left Salt Lake City. It just left Hill Air Force Base. And that's where it is. That was its mission. That's what it was doing. And in my opinion, going out there to arm Ukraine with additional fighter aircraft, being the F-35 variety. This is the poll that I was talking about. So this is from PBS News, and then we'll probably wrap it up pretty shortly thereafter. Joe Biden, 50%. Donald Trump, 48 in a new PBS News poll. It also shows obviously Kamala Harris beating Donald Trump 50-49. Gavin Newsom beating Donald Trump 50-48, and Big Gretch tied with Donald Trump 49-49. This election or this campaign event was not about who was there, it's about who wasn't. Gretchen Whitmer decided to go on her book tour. She's the co-chair of the election party committee for the reelection of Joe Biden. She decided not to attend tonight's rally, even though it's in her home state. Many of the Congress people and local representatives were not there. Sean Fain decided to take some personal travel instead. Sean Fain, for those who don't know, is the UAW union president. He decided to forgo after saying that he supports Joe Biden. And there were a couple other significant people that decided to forgo this campaign stop to reinvigorate Joe Biden's campaign, I guess. I tried to race 2 Blackhawks the other day. Yeah, you probably lost quite a bit, but kept having crazy stuff fly over my place. Huh. I'm not gonna dox you, but yeah, you probably saw a lot out there because of obviously the NATO summit was there the other day, so there was a lot of traffic around the entire United States, from foreign dignitaries and some really odd planes that, and obviously the United States puts up a lot of defensive capabilities for an event like that. So, yeah, I mean, he lied about nearly everything he said up there. Some of them that I just couldn't control, my disdain for them. He marched the picket lines. He did not. I watched Air Force One land at Detroit. I went just slightly in front of the motorcade. I parked at the picket line. I actually streamed from the picket line. Streams up someplace if you want to, fact check what I'm saying. Waited there the entire day, talked to other media outlets, talked to other people, talked to other informed individuals on site, and he never showed up. And then I followed the pathway back to Detroit and watched him leave yet again on Air Force One. So he did not, when he asserted that he did not go to the picket line in Detroit. I don't think he ever showed up. I truly don't. I truly don't. I think he did a pre-taped interview with Sean Fain, but I don't think he ever actually showed up. And like I was there from the time he touched down to the time he took back off, he did not stand on the picket lines with the UAW workers. That was inaccurate. He did not. So that one frustrates me because personally I checked that one. So I saw an Osprey and laughed at it too. Yeah, they've actually had a bunch of Ospreys up recently. It's been interesting. So I think this is what we're gonna see out of the Biden camp is the attacks to ramp up on Trump. I don't know what you think you're gonna gain out of that. Said nobody's exposed him yet. I mean, he ran for president and you literally threw everything you could at him for what, probably coming up on 10 years now. I mean, hundreds of millions of dollars in 10 years. And I mean, if you have something else to tell me about Donald Trump that I don't already know, then I I don't know what to tell you. Like, probably don't care is the realistic part of it. But yeah, so that's I think that's gonna be the new flavor is him coming out and being all riled up and talking about Trump and everything bad about Trump. Joe, it's not some names that you get wrong. It's not every once in a while you get a name wrong. I mean, it's pretty damn consistent. It's pretty damn consistent. Like you called I just love this clip. So you called Stoltenberg why won't it let me play any of them? Damn it. He called Stoltenberg an intellectual wigger. So for what it's worth. That's not the wrong name, Joe. That's pretty bad. We didn't get anything of substance out of it. He said his first 100 days he's gonna codify Roe. Well, why don't you do that right now? You have the House, you have the Senate, you have the presidency. If you really, really wanted to, Joe, now would be the time. Directly in the face of the United States Supreme Court, which he's probably not going to do. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's going to get interesting going into November, and we'll see what happens from here. So, as always, until next time, I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Take care.